Israel was in a season of instability. The nation was weakened by war, idolatry, and foreign pressure. Moabite raiders frequently crossed the border, attacking villages and disrupting daily life. Fear hung over the land like a shadow. Elisha the prophet, who had once called down miracles, healed kings, and confronted armies, had died and been buried. His passing marked the end of an era. Many wondered whether God's power had departed with him. His tomb lay in the rocky hills, a silent reminder of the prophet who had shaped a generation. A funeral interrupted one day. A group of Israelites carried the body of a recently deceased man to be buried. The funeral procession was somber, and hurried death was always painful. But in these dangerous times, burials were often done quickly. As they approached the burial site, a lookout suddenly shouted, "Raiders! Moabite raiders are coming!" Panic surged through the group. The Moabites were known for swift, brutal attacks. The mourners had no time to finish the burial, no time to dig, no time to mourn. They needed to flee. A desperate decision in their fear, the men looked around for the nearest place to hide the body. Their eyes fell upon a nearby Elisha's tomb. Without ceremony, without preparation, they rushed to the tomb, rolled away the stone, and threw the dead man inside. Their only thought was survival. They turned to run. The moment of contact inside the tomb, the man's body fell against the bones of Elisha. The prophet's flesh had long decayed, leaving only dry bones, still and lifeless. But the moment the dead man touched those bones, something impossible happened. A spark of divine power, lingering, not in Elisha himself, but in the God who had worked through him, surged through the corpse. The man's chest rose. His eyes opened, he drew breath. He stood up, and he walked out of the tomb alive. Shock and awe. Imagine the scene. The mourners, running from danger, suddenly hear footsteps behind them. They turn and see the man they had just buried running after them, alive and bewildered. Their fear of raiders is replaced by awe, confusion, and trembling joy. This was not a resurrection performed by a living prophet. This was not a prayer or ritual. This was God demonstrating that his power is not limited by death, time, or circumstance. The meaning behind the miracle, this miracle, is not about Elisha's bones having magical properties. It is about God's faithfulness. Several truths rise from this moment. God's power outlives his servants. Elisha was dead, but God was not done working. God can bring life out of death. Even in a tomb, even in fear, even in chaos. God honors his covenant. Elisha had asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. Elijah performed 14 recorded miracles. Elisha performed 27. This resurrection made it 28. The double portion was complete. God shows mercy in unexpected moments. A man who died likely, without expecting a miracle, was restored to life in a moment of panic. Why this story still matters. This brief, easily overlooked verse carries deep spiritual weight. It reminds us that God's presence is not confined to people, places, or moments. It shows that God can work through what seems dead, forgotten, or insignificant. It teaches that fear cannot stop God's purposes. It reveals that God's power is not diminished by human weakness or loss. Even in a tomb, even among bones, God can bring life.